Hi, I'm Robert Samuels, Senior Account Manager at Blair. I'm excited to be here with Faitai Cray from NOVIPRO. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hi, very good, thanks you. How are you?
Good. We are at Unlocking AI and Cloud Potential, a hands-on experience event organized by Blair, and I'd like to ask you a few questions to hear your perspective on AI.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. AI is a big buzzword right now, and it's talked about all the time. In the IT Trends 2025 report, it indicated that 30% of companies plan to invest in AI. Do you see this reflected among your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if anything, I wonder if that 30% number might be a bit low. Um, you know, all the clients we talk to, AI is definitely on their mind, and they're either already doing it, or people in the organization are doing it without the IT people knowing about it, or they're at least planning to move ahead. So yes, absolutely, it's top of mind.
Thank you. Now, in your view, what still prevents companies from adopting AI on a large scale?
Good question. I think there's a couple of factors at play that might prevent people from adopting it on a large scale. I think there's still sort of a fear of the unknown of what is going to be the effect on employees, on the organization at large, on clients, on client relationships. They probably want to figure all of that out. And I think a lot of them are looking at it and saying, we're kind of now in this second wave where a lot of people have already gone into AI. Um, how am I going to find the ROI? Am I going to do something that's going to pay off for me? Because if I can't find the ROI, then I may as well go do something else. So they need to. They're probably thinking about these things first before they jump into an AI project.
That makes sense. How do you help companies that want to move forward with AI projects? What common mistakes do you observe in AI projects?
Yeah, I think just like any other project, you have to proceed carefully and you have to proceed deliberately with these things. So AI kind of came upon the industry pretty quickly from 2022 and 2023 onwards. And I think a lot of people sort of they rushed into AI and tripped over their shoelaces because they didn't think about the consequences of what they were doing with it or why. And in that respect, it starts to resemble previous bubbles in technology that have happened. So I think what we do at NOVIPRO in helping clients proceed with AI is help them proceed in a deliberate fashion. So help them think about what is the organizational impact of an AI project and what is the impact on our data and what do we need to do with our data to be ready to deploy AI. Because if your data is not ready, then your AI is not going to succeed. So how do we clean up and ensure that the data is right? And then once we've done that, how do we pick a use case that is actually going to generate ROI? And the answer to that question is, as varied as there are organizations we work with, everybody's got a different starting point, everybody's got a different set of strengths, and everybody's got a different business problem they want to solve. So you pick the business problem, you pick the AI tool, you calculate what you expect the ROI to be, you get ready, and then you deploy. So we try to get customers through that process, and not take AI as the first step, but take AI as the last step in the process of analyzing the organization.
And during your presentation today, I remember you mentioned a term. What was that term that you mentioned about the correlation between data and AI?
Oh, this is something that's making the rounds on LinkedIn and social media now. It's that AI needs data more than data needs AI.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes to the point that data has been with us forever, and large amounts of data has been with us forever, and you can do a lot with your data. AI is just the latest set of use cases that are reliant on your data. So yeah, AI needs data, but you need your data in your organization for lots of other purposes too. So you do need to take a holistic look at all of your data in the organization and take an ongoing process of managing, securing, and curating that data, and then you can apply it to your AI use cases. So that's I think where we're going with that statement.
Okay. Now, in your opinion, what sectors are currently getting the most value from AI and why?
Good question, and I can be flippant. I could say all of them, but I think some stand out more than others. but the pattern that emerges out of it is those that have the most repeatable manual processes today. So anybody for whom, customer service is a big part of the organization, and you're getting the usual kind of queries from your clients around, what does this product do? Is this product right for me? Is that product better? Or how do these two products work together? If you've got human agents doing that, you can now augment those processes a whole lot better with AI to surface more correlations and more tie-ins around the data that you have. Internally as well, anybody who's doing internal service around, onboarding of new employees or typical IT requests of reformat my machine or reset my password or those kind of things. Again, they don't replace humans in the process, but they augment the human part of the process and just make it more effective and more productive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This should be a good one. In one sentence, what advice would you give a company hesitating to move to AI?
Start small, but start now.
Okay.
I think that's what I would say, because pick a use case that you can control and manage. That's what I mean by start small. And, what are you waiting for? If you don't start now, your competitors are already going to be ahead of you. So the tools are there, the technology is there, it's mature enough. Pick something you can manage and get going, and you'll see the results.
I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, but do you think AI will replace human roles rather than augment them at one point? Right now, I know you don't believe that, but in the future, do you see that happening?
So part of me believes it, part of me doesn't believe it. I think some of it will happen in the future. I think you have to put it into historical context, though, because every technology has always had an effect on employment. Right from when we started using steam shovels versus digging ditches with spades,
Yeah.
every technology has a disruptive aspect on some part of the workforce, and I think in that sense AI is no different. It's just that it's now coming after more of the creative roles and the knowledge professionals, where it used to be more of the physical labor intensive tasks that are being replaced by technology. So the pattern is the same. It's just expanding into different areas of the workforce. And people who worry a lot about AI replacing humans probably underestimate the resilience of humans.
Okay.
We always find a way to adapt. We always find a way to leverage the technology in ways that will enhance our productivity and will open up new employment opportunities and new avenues of work for people that we haven't even thought of yet. So I think that's going to happen. On the other side of it, though, I do worry where people rely a lot on generative AI, and some of it was touched on this morning, even, that made me a little bit uncomfortable, is the idea of replacing whole departments with AI.
Yes, I did hear that.
And I've seen this, a lot of professional service firms, legal firms, and so forth are looking at it and saying, well, AI can do as good a job as a junior associate. Junior associates also make mistakes when they do research and they create documents and stuff that goes forward to the senior partners for presentation to clients. They're supervised and their work is checked. And if I use AI to do that, I still supervise and check their work, but I'm now using AI instead of somebody I'm paying a salary to. So theoretically, that's cheaper. But the impact on the workforce is the pool of people who are the next in line to become the senior partners who guide and drive the firm forward are those junior associates today. So if you get rid of all of them, or even too many of them, where's your talent pool for the continuity of the firm going forward? So I think companies have to figure out how to balance that. Make your people more effective and more productive, but don't replace them or all of them or even most of them. Find ways to grow your workforce and make it more productive and grow your business as a result of adopting AI, rather than just using it as a way of slashing.
That's a great answer. I never even thought of it from that aspect. Yeah, what will the next generation look like? I never thought of that.
Absolutely. I think about that for my kids who are in their early
Yeah.
20s and going to be entering the workforce very soon. They need to start at the bottom and work their way up like
Yeah.
everybody did, and find their role, and how is AI going to affect their future. I don't know yet, but it's a problem that's ongoing and that we need to think a lot more about.
Good angle to expose. Um, Now, I know we talked about long term, short term. What is your vision for AI 3 years from now?
3 years from now, I would agree with what a lot of the panelists on the discussion we just had earlier today are saying around um, more automation, more effectiveness. So agents are still kind of in their infancy right now with AI, like it or not. I think as the technology matures, those agents are going to become more autonomous and safer to use. So you're going to see more and more of that. And as I also touched on in my presentation, I think there's more to AI than generative. So I think we're going to see new models and new ways of interacting with AI for humans and new ways of AI understanding the world that it lives in
Yes.
that are going to unlock new possibilities of solutions that AI is going to provide to, bigger and bigger problems. So, we're going to see, on the one hand, an evolution of existing technologies that are going to keep getting better. And we're going to see the introduction of new things that we don't even know yet what they're going to look like. And I think that's what makes the field so exciting.
Okay. I'd like to close this. Thank you very much for your time. It was very informative, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thanks, Robert. I really appreciate it. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Cheers. Hi, I'm Robert Samuels, Senior Account Manager at Blair. I'm excited to be here with Amna Jamal from IBM. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well. How about you?
Great, great. We're at the Unlocking AI and Cloud Potential, a hands-on experience event organized by Blair. And I'd like to ask you a few questions to hear your perspective on AI, if you don't mind.
For sure.
AI is much talked about. Obviously, it's a huge buzzword right now. The IT Trends 2005 report indicates that 30% of companies plan to invest in AI. Do you see this reflected among your clients?
Yes and no. What I'm seeing is that most of the clients, they are doing the pilot and POCs around it, but they are not moving the step further where it's not moving from pilot to production. And the reason is that they are concerned how that AI would perform in production if it would hallucinate or give out results which are incorrect, and it will cause them a reputational damage if it does.
So they're hesitant still. Now, in your view, what still prevents companies from adopting AI on a large scale? I know you mentioned the hallucinations, but if you had to choose one thing, what do you think it is that's stopping these companies from transitioning?
The first thing would be, I'll say two things. The first thing would be the scale. So the pilots and POCs, they oftentimes do not take into consideration the enterprise considerations, meaning the security, the governance, the infrastructure, the cost. And when they start to think about putting into production, all of these factors are further amplified because they didn't think about scale. And the second is the lack in trust in the process, where they don't have proper governance strategies in place. And since they don't have those strategies in place, it's very ad hoc. And oftentimes they don't get approvals because they're not compliant. So I would say lack of consideration for cost, resources, and governance.
Okay, thank you. How do you help companies that want to move forward with AI projects? What common mistakes do you observe in AI projects? I know you mentioned a few with the governance, but in general.
In general, again, they don't think about the scale, and they also think that AI is there to do everything, but it's actually there to augment the use cases that you're working on. And sometimes I also see that the use cases or the use case definition is not clear, where there are no set KPIs or success factors for them to push it to production.
Now, in your opinion, what sectors are currently getting the most value from AI today and why?
So I feel the customer experience, customer care sector, marketing, developers, and it is all translating into how productive AI is making them, because now they can focus on other aspects of their jobs rather than just sifting through the information or figuring out why the code is not working or debugging it.
Now, if you had to make a recommendation, what is the best way for a company to roll out an AI project? If you, from beginning to end, what does that look like for you?
And the clarity in use case, the resources required, the skill sets required, and what would it look like when you're thinking about scale. So it's all, yeah. So it's all in the plan phase of any AI application or the development life cycle, that you need to be clear about the objectives, the tooling, the elements or the building blocks of AI come in later. And lastly, if you're working with data, don't ignore the data.
All right. Ivana, thank you very much for participating in this podcast, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Robert Samuel, Senior Account Manager at Blair. I'm excited to be here with Pat Valente at SAS. Hello.
Hi.
We're at the Unlocking AI and Cloud Potential, a hands-on experience event organized by Blair, and I'd like to ask you a few questions to hear your perspective on AI.
Sure.
Okay. So I guess for my first question, what do you see as the biggest benefits of integrating AI within a company?
I think the greatest benefits that a company is going to achieve with AI is really the automation or the inclusion of the tasks and the sort of the redundant work that employees currently do, and they can do it. They can do it on the back in the back of their hands, kind of thing. They've been doing it for years, trying to automate that, get all the intelligence that employees have, and be able to do that in a very systematic, repetitive way, automated, and adding the intelligence of the employee after that. That's where the productivity is going to come when they get all that stuff squared away and they allow the solutions to do that work. Then the employees actually become more powerful, because then they can start looking at what they're doing and the tasks that they're doing and be able to be more creative, be able to improve them and so forth. And so now you're bringing the intelligence of the employee to the task that they're doing. They're not just repeating a task. They're not just doing the same thing over and over. They're looking at it and be able to be creative about it and improve it. So I think that's where the big benefit is going to come with AI.
Okay, thanks. And what are the main challenge or obstacles you see these organizations currently facing?
There's a few good obstacles that they're facing. Number one is just the sheer amount of data that sometimes is required to do AI properly. But even before that, I think a lot of times businesses just aren't really ready for what they want to do with AI. So a lot of times when I talk to clients, they say things like, we want to use AI. We want to find out about what AI is. They don't really know what it is and what they want to use it for. So the challenge then is to try to get them to talk about a specific task or a use case that they want to solve, and then have a look at what resources that they have available to them, including data and also expertise around that data, to be able to bring some sort of solution to bear that's going to be able to actually solve that task. So I think the biggest challenge that they have right now is the data and just understanding the process around what they have to do to have a use case and be able to sort of formulate all the pieces out and be able to start attacking it.
Okay. That kind of segues into my next question. Do you think companies are sufficiently prepared for AI?
I think they're prepared in the sense that they're excited and they want to see it.
Okay.
But I think that they're not prepared in the sense that a lot of them, as I said, they're not ready with all the data yet. They may have a lot of data, but they don't understand it. They don't understand it well enough yet. And they're also, I said, they're not always ready with understanding, how mapping out everything that they want to try to solve. Sometimes as I said, they come to you with their question like, what is AI? Can we use AI? And my question back to them is, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about your business. What do you want to solve? Let's understand what AI can be brought to bear, because is it just literally automation, or is it a machine learning problem that we need to create, or is it more a generative problem where it's like a chat bot and things like that? So it's trying to understand what they want to solve and being able to sort of tackle it that way. So I think they're ready with excitement. They're not always ready with all the background work that I think they need to have done so that they can actually tackle a problem.
Okay, that makes sense. And what do you do to help companies that want to move forward with AI projects? What common mistakes do you observe in AI projects?
So what we do at SAS really is work with clients, understanding what their business is, understanding what their use cases that they're trying to solve, and looking at the data that they have available to them, how their data can be acquired, that we can bring to bear into helping to solve the problem. We have a variety of solutions and software that allows people to solve different kinds of problems. So trying to understand with a client what exactly they're trying to solve and being able to bring the right, solution to bear is really where the biggest, I think the biggest challenge is. I think the biggest mistake that a client might make is trying to do just too much. It's like, I think the best way, again, to be creative is to say, take a simple problem or a basic use case. It might not even be that simple, but it's a use case that they want to solve. Be able to showcase with their data and the solutions how we can solve it, and then that gets them thinking and being creative about, okay, well, if you can do that with this much data, let's see what else we can do with all these other issues that we have as well. So I think that's the biggest issue I've seen is just them trying to do too much, right?
So you're not trying to boil the ocean.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Pat, thank you very much for answering my questions, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Great. Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Anytime. Hi, I'm Robert Samuel, Senior Account Manager at Blair. I'm excited to be here with Chris Reynolds from OVHcloud. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Robert. How you doing?
Good. We're at the Unlocking AI and Cloud Potential, a hands-on experience event organized by Blair. I'd like to ask you a few questions to hear your perspective on cloud.
Go ahead, sir.
What trends are you seeing among your clients regarding hybrid cloud?
One of the key things I think is a couple of the main subjects we're talking about today, right? It's AI. A lot of the things I'm seeing with my clients at the moment, or clients that are coming to me via NOVIPRO in conjunction with NOVIPRO, are clients that are interested in leveraging the power of AI, but they're not quite sure of the infrastructure that they need to do it. So they're doing a lot of research. They're working with NOVIPRO to understand what their needs are. And they're trying to find that balance, right, without spending a fortune, but getting still something that's quite innovative for them and delivers value to their business. So I would say one of the main trends at the moment is AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what common mistakes do you observe in cloud migration projects?
Yeah, that's an easy one. Cloud, you probably know what I'm going to say. Cloud migration projects are great when you move your production environments to cloud. Works really well. The trouble is, what people seem to forget is once you move your production environment to the cloud, you also need to do backups somewhere else, ideally on a different media, the 3-2-1 environment. And also you might need a DR as well, depending on how quickly you need your environment back up. And a lot of the time in the move to cloud, people seem to forget about that.
I experienced that. I remember when everyone started adopting M365,
Yeah.
right away they're like, oh, we're in the cloud. We don't need a backup.
Yeah,
That was a hard road to go down.
I think that might have been one of the things that made a lot of people think, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I always try and call it out when we're talking to people, and I know the NOVIPRO guys know it, so if the lead comes through you guys, we never have that question, but if somebody comes directly to me, I always try and call out that you've got to look at backup and disaster recovery. What are your plans?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, in your opinion, which sectors get the most value from hybrid cloud and why?
So a hybrid cloud, I believe, delivers value to everybody. I've seen it in the public sector. I've seen it in manufacturing, pretty much every industry. Everybody seems to be using cloud, but also a percentage of on-prem or colo as well, for whatever reason. I think the on-prem and colo, there's a lot of legacy stuff that's still there. And some of these applications are either going to be very difficult, very expensive to migrate and move. But the value of the cloud as well, with a kind of massive amount of resources available on demand, you can't refuse that. And that gives you access to growth and to innovation that you can't get from fixed infrastructure in your own environment. So I think everybody gets benefit from hybrid cloud. It depends exactly where you are on your digital transformation journey, but at the moment I'm seeing it everywhere.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chris, for answering my questions, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
It's very exciting. I'm pleased to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Take care.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Robert Samuels, Senior Account Manager at Blair. I'm excited to be here with John Galbraith at evormore. Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Okay. We're at Unlocking AI and Cloud Potential, a hands-on experience event organized by Blair. And I'd like to ask you a few questions about your perspective on AI.
Sure.
Um, AI is a big buzzword right now. And in our IT trends and in most reports, it indicates that about 30% of companies plan to invest in AI. Do you see this reflecting among your clients?
Yeah, and I think when we talk about the word invest, I think that that's something that we maybe use synonymously to cost instead of just kind of buying versus investing. I think a lot of folks are ready to buy AI. I think a lot of folks are ready to buy Copilot or buy ChatGPT licenses. I think that there's a smaller percentage of folks that are thinking about how am I investing in AI? How are we building balance sheet value in our business as a result of being an AI forward company? And I think that as a country and as a group of consultants, and we hold a lot of wisdom, I think it's up to us to really try to move from cost discussions to value discussions when talking about AI.
Okay. Now, in your view, what still prevents companies from adopting AI on a large scale?
At Evermore, we bucket things into three buckets. There's for folks that work in the business, we call it workforce intelligence. This is training your people. That's happening all over. There's plenty of funding available. The second bucket is strategic intelligence. And this is what we've been talking about a lot today with governance, compliance, orchestration, that sort of thing. In my experience, and I work with manufacturers across Canada from 5 to 250 employees, and most leaders are stuck in analysis paralysis. Their employees are doing it. They're doing ChatGPT. They're getting personal productivity gains, but yet to see real business impact as a result of making AI multiplayer, operationalizing it, and deploying it across your business, I think is the biggest. It's not the folks. It's the leaders that are really slowing this down, I believe.
Okay. How do you help companies that want to move forward with AI projects? What common mistakes do you observe with AI projects?
There's a couple here. I've been doing AI research and development with manufacturers for about 5 years now. I've had the great fortune of that. And when we started, we tried to solve all the problems that we haven't been able to solve for 40 years. And we tried to do it the exact same way, collect requirements, do all this stuff. And we failed. We failed fast and we failed hard. So we really take a crawl, walk, run approach in critical industries and manufacturing. We benefit from lean. We look at everything from a lean perspective. So going and finding non-value added activities, things that your customers don't pay you for, is really a great place to start, because learning AI as an adult is hard. We're all experts. It's a vulnerable experience. It feels very disorienting to be in front of something that you don't understand and that you don't know. So we really employ this crawl, walk, run approach to kind of helping, find those projects and ease people into it, and then just start small, do a report, send an email, you know what I mean? And then kind of work your way through.
In your opinion, which sectors are currently getting the most value from AI and why? I know your expertise is manufacturing, but what other sectors would you say?
I come from the Silicon Valley style startup world, and I think that tech has really embraced this. I see, folks that have built just beautiful canvases in N8N that do all their sales prospecting and get 100 leads a week and that sort of thing. I think the folks that are building it are really taking advantage of it, and they're outpacing the rest of global businesses, really.
Okay. Now, in one sentence, what advice would you give to a company hesitating to move to AI?
Train your people.
Okay. And do you think AI will replace human roles or rather augment them?
I think that it will empower humans. I think ultimately that all of us can get behind the notion of doing more meaningful work as employees. Right now, we do $1 tasks at work, and the opportunity of AI is to focus our employees, focus our teams on making decisions, not doing tasks, so that we can drive $5 decisions and $10 decisions that drive business impact instead of being stuck under $1 tasks.
Okay. What is your vision for AI 3 years from now?
AI just is. I don't think it's anything we log into. I don't think it's a website we go to. I think AI just is. I believe in 3 years from now, we won't have little icons on our phone, icons on our computer. We will just converse with all of our systems, business systems, consumer systems, social systems. It'll just be a conversation. So I think we're experiencing a rapid transition from programmatic to conversational.
Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, John, for joining the podcast. That was very informative, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Appreciate it, Robert. Thank you, guys. Thank you.